Christians is trying to fight back. I also really love the sentence, communism is all over the place. Like they're talking about dust in the basement. When's the last time you cleaned in here? There's communism all over the place. It's fucking caked in communism. Damn, bitch, you live like this? This 2025 movie came out this month on Amazon Prime. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, so this is a legitimate movie, right? If it's able to be on like one of the main streaming services, right? And then I did a little bit of research and I found out that pretty much anybody can just upload a movie to Amazon for free. So never mind. And after a little bit more research, I found out that the director and star of this movie is just a YouTuber. He's a Christian YouTuber. Well, I mean, according to him, he's a #1 best-selling director. But I don't really know where he got that title from because he only has one IMDb credit and it's this movie. So maybe he's like the #1 best-selling director of this movie, which, I mean, I guess he's right. But I would just love to talk about this movie today because it is genuinely the worst movie I have ever seen in my life. And that's saying a lot, okay? That's coming from a guy who really didn't mind the first Suicide Squad. So without further ado, let's talk about 2025, The World Enslaved by a Virus. The movie starts with an epic car chase with the main character, Roy. He's driving away from the police who are trying to shoot him and kill him. But when they finally catch up to him, for some reason they decide to just arrest him instead. And we got this great scene right here where he slides across the hood of a car to just get arrested on the other side. And dude, that is so funny. Sliding across the hood of a car to just get arrested. That's like doing a double backflip into a pool of your dad's piss. Like the first part was cool, but the second part was kind of lame. Why does your dad even have that? How old is that pool? How long has he been filling up that pool? You know what I mean? Bruh. Now he's getting interrogated by this policeman because Roy's got a Bible. Okay, and that shit's illegal. It's not allowed.
They are from a time when life was different. The time when we could meet our friends, go to restaurants, celebrate whatever and whenever we wanted to.
They also never say outright that it's COVID-19 in this movie, but it's heavily implied because it started in 2020 and it stopped like large social gatherings from happening.
The state leaders came up with new regulations to repress the people and secure their power. The state leaders started to take away our rights and our freedom. Their excuse was virus, something they sold us as a super deadly killer virus. Something they sold us as a super deadly killer virus.
Huh. 5.5 million people died so far, but you're upset that you can't go to a restaurant? Doesn't seem very godly, Roy. What would Jesus do? I don't know, but I can tell you he wouldn't make this fucking movie. And I'm just giving you guys the main points he makes in this scene. Like, this whole part is like 5 minutes of uninterrupted fucking exposition and him just complaining that you can't go to restaurants anymore because of COVID.
If everyone would start thinking like that, we could really achieve something big.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna start a sin tally for this guy. As the movie goes on, we'll tally up all the sins that this guy commits, and we'll see how many he's got by the end of the movie. So far, we've got resisting arrest. I don't know, to a Christian, I feel like that could be a sin. You know, it is a crime. And also, he just, like, undermined millions of deaths. So that's 2 so far. Not looking good. So now we flash back to 3 months ago. Roy is hanging out with his sister, Hannah. Then their other friend barges in with some bad news about Jack.
Arrested, tortured, and killed.
But wait, who's Jack?
He was a friend, our brother.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Hannah. So this friend, and I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, or no, I don't think they ever fucking say it in this movie, and even if they did, I just wasn't paying attention, because this movie is so boring. So we'll just call him Friendo Baggins. How about that? Friendo Baggins, he comes over and he's like, you guys gotta stop being Christian, okay? Everyone's dying. You know, they're getting murdered for being Christian, and you guys are my best friends. I don't want you guys to die, so please stop being Christian. But they say no, so he quits their little, like, Christian rebellion group.
Sorry, but I'm out. I gotta quit.
And that really upsets them.
Stop.
Because like the synopsis says, being Christian is illegal. So, being Christian is a crime, and like crime is sinful. Therefore, the act of being a Christian is a sin. So, let's add one. Sorry, Roy. So Roy and Hannah decide that they need to go out and find more Christians because there's just no Christians.
What's up, Greg? I hope you're all having a great day. Welcome back to my channel, and I'd just like to say, Merry Cringemas. Well guys, it's that time of year again. My lips are chapped, my bones are cold, and it's dark out all the fucking time, which means it's Christmas time. So I'm a pretty big Christmas movie guy. I like It's a Wonderful Life. I watch that every year with my family. Home Alone, those movies are great. But today I'd like to talk about what may possibly be the worst Christmas movie ever made. The Santa Claus, featuring Tim Allen. It may also actually be the best Christmas movie ever made, but I haven't decided yet. The Santa Claus came out in 1994, and since then it's become a bit of a classic. A lot of you may have seen it. I remember really liking it when I was a kid. But if you're like me, and you haven't seen it since you were really, really young, and you just have those fond memories of it, if you were to watch it today, you would probably be like, what the fuck is this movie? Because when you're a kid, you don't really notice things like giant glaring plot holes, the movie condoning murder, kidnapping, all this shit that this movie has in it, which makes it pretty fucked up. And sure, other Christmas movies have weird elements too, like Home Alone is basically just about two guys trying to murder a child. But the Santa Claus is weird through and through. It's sort of an origin story for Santa, and it basically tries to establish this entire universe around Santa Claus and where he comes from, and none of it makes any fucking sense. So I know on this channel I usually talk about things like weird, cringy YouTube videos or shitty Instagram comedians. But today I want to take a bit of a step back and focus on something else. The Santa Claus featuring Tim Allen. Also, stick around to the end of this video for a very special Christmas music video. So this movie starts out by establishing the main character, Scott Calvin. He's an executive at like a toy company.
Here at B&R Toys, we're not just about making a profit in quality toys. We're also about families. But our families aren't here with us right now. This is probably why Johnson's secretary's sitting in his lap.
Johnson's secretary's sitting in his lap. He's cheating on his wife. Scott Calvin is divorced. He had a son with this girl, Laura, and his kid, Charlie, now lives with Laura and her new husband, Neil.
Oh, certainly.
Hi.
Hey, do you want to come in?
Neil's waiting in the car, so.
Why doesn't he come in?
Because Daddy said you'll just end up saying something snotty.
Not necessarily. Could be rude or sarcastic. Whatever it takes.
See? I gotta go. Here.
Ugh, Neil. I hate Neil. Neil sucks. I feel like most movies that start out like this, where it's like this split up family and the main character has been divorced, it seems like it tries to sort of make you feel bad for them at first. Like, oh man, he didn't deserve for his wife to leave him and marry some other man. And now they're all turned against him. Even the kid thinks he's kind of an asshole. But in this one, they're just like, no, yeah, he actually is an asshole. He deserved it. His wife honestly should have left him for someone else. She can do a whole lot better than Scott Calvin. She needs Neil. Fucking Neil. I hate Neil. Neil sucks. So Laura and Neil come over to drop Charlie off at Scott's house because Charlie's going to be spending Christmas with Scott.
Do I gotta stay?
You and your daddy are gonna have a great Christmas, okay?
Will you pick me up tomorrow?
Of course.
Early?
Yes.
The beginning of this movie does not present Scott in a very flattering light. It's just really hammering home the point of Scott not being a good dude. Like, even his own son is like, Mom, get me out of here! This old dude is a bummer and a half, man. I gotta go. I cannot spend Christmas with him. He makes me too sad. I'd rather spend it with Neil. And then it's time for bed on Christmas Eve night. And this is where our magical little adventure really begins. Charlie wakes up in the middle of the night because he hears a bumping sound. He hears like a bump, and then some like yelling and sleigh bells, and so he gets up to go tell his dad, and at first his dad's like, fuck off, I'm trying to sleep, but then he hears it too.
Somebody's on the roof.
So Scott runs outside, and you'll never guess who's there.
Hey, you!
What's that? Whoa,
It's Santa! Wow. How fun. So if you've never seen this movie before, you're probably wondering, is Santa dead? We'll get to that in a second. But first I want to talk about a big plot hole here. Santa's been doing this for a long time, right? He's like an ageless, mythical being who goes from house to house every Christmas, sneakily puts presents under the tree, never been caught, right? Nobody has concrete evidence that Santa's real. In fact, most people, it seems like in this universe, don't believe Santa's real. But he makes so much noise. How does he manage to not get caught when he's constantly making loud-ass noises on the roof? Stomping around and yelling. Why was he yelling? And at who? Who was he yelling at? His reindeer? They don't speak English. Okay, anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, you wanted to know if Santa's dead. He is. He just slides right off the roof and fucking dies. And that's the beginning of this movie. Santa dies. So it's a great movie for kids. I like how when he slides off the roof, the snow sort of like bunches up and folds over, and you can totally tell it's just a blanket. I mean, you gotta love the 90s, man. The set decoration is so clearly fake. But to be fair, these days, the whole thing would have probably just been CG. This whole sequence, him falling off the roof. I mean, if this movie was made today, the whole thing would probably be CG. And Tim Allen would probably be a minion. And Santa Claus would probably be a minion. And Zendaya would probably be Michi. Now, I know you're probably thinking, uh-oh, Santa's laying in the front yard with like a broken spine, and he's dead. I really hope Charlie doesn't see this, because this is, you know, traumatizing shit for a kid, right? But he comes out and he sees him, and he's stoked.
You got him!
He's so happy. He's like, yes, Dad, you got him! You killed that bitch! So he searches his suit, and he finds this card, and it's like, if something happens to me, put on my suit, the reindeer will know what to do. And then he's like, reindeer? What reindeer? So he backs up. Wait, hold on. What? Oh no. Santa's still alive. That's even more fucked up. And why haven't they called 911? He didn't die on impact. He's just laying there with a broken spine, and nobody's doing anything about it. There's still time to save this poor man. I mean, this is really classic Christmas shit right here. I mean, this is what the holiday season is all about, you know? The smell of sugar cookies and beautiful lights lighting up the entire neighborhood, and a dying old man laying in the snow in your front yard. Okay, so anyway, they're confused about the card saying reindeer, so now they've gone to look at the roof. I wonder what it's gonna be. Come on, I'm so excited. What is it? What is it? Why is it taking so long? Why haven't they called 911 yet? Oh! Reindeer! How did he not notice the reindeer before? Santa was literally standing right next to them, and he didn't see that. He didn't see 12 big-ass reindeer pulling a gigantic sleigh. Okay, maybe he was a bit preoccupied. He might have been a bit focused on the man plummeting to his death, but I mean, come on.
He disappeared. Whoa.
He's naked somewhere.
And just like that, Santa's gone. I guess this is just part of like the Santa lore that this movie's trying to establish. When Santa dies, he disappears because he's a Jedi. So they go up and they see the reindeer. You know, in most movies, reindeer are depicted as these very cute, pure, innocent animals. They help Santa fly from city to city. For some reason in this movie, they made them these vile, sick beasts that just fart and burp. They get up there and Charlie convinces Scott to sort of take on the role of Santa Claus. When he puts on the suit, the reindeer all of a sudden just start listening to him. So the reindeer take him to the next house and he just is Santa now. He spends the rest of the night delivering presents with the coolest animations and the sickest special effects. And that's the basic setup of this entire movie. That's what this movie's about. This idea that this dude, Scott Calvin, just this random guy, accidentally killed Santa, put on his clothes, and then he just is Santa now. What kind of system is that? This movie is so weird. If you just kill Santa, you just get to be Santa. What other occupation has that system? I mean, what, can you just walk into a hospital and kill a doctor and put on his clothes and now you're a doctor? No, you can't. I've tried. I guess like the king of an 18th century monarchy would have the same rules. Like if you kill him, then I guess you're in charge now, but I don't know, it just seems like such an outdated system. So after a long, successful night of delivering Christmas presents, the reindeer take Scott and Charlie back to the North Pole, where this kid has been just waiting outside in sub-zero temperatures to let them in. And this is a beautiful sight. This is when we get to see Santa's toy factory for the first time. The elves are all gathered around to see Santa, but oh no. These elves are all gonna be mortified when they realize that their Santa died, and now there's a new Santa. When they see Scott Calvin and not the actual Santa Claus, they're all gonna be so sad. I mean, this movie's about to take a dark turn for sure. Nope, these motherfuckers don't care at all. In fact, they're stoked to see this guy.
Kid, who's in charge here?
You are. And I'm not a kid. I have pointy shoes that are older than you.
Who gives the orders? Who's your boss?
You are.
No. Who's the head elf?
You are.
And they all just accept that he's Santa now. Immediately just like, well, fuck the old Santa Claus, you're Santa now, dude. Why are they so thrilled to get a new Santa Claus? That's not good. And this dude could be like evil or a huge creep or something, and they've just given him the power of being able to fly around the world at light speed and have access to everybody on Earth's house. Actually, that might explain why they're so happy the old Santa was gone. Maybe he was like a huge asshole or like a creep and kept making passes at the elves or something. I don't know. It definitely doesn't reflect well on the old Santa Claus if all the elves are just cool with him being dead now. So he walks around and starts asking elves questions, and they all just like brush him off. They're like, dude, I don't have time to answer your questions. You're Santa, all right? Just bye.
Who are you?
I'm Bernard. Nice to meet you, Santa.
I'm not Santa. I've had a rough night. There's been dogs barking, guns going off. Look, my back's killed me. If you ever try to shove a sea kayak down a chimney, I'm tired of this small talk.
The other Santa disappeared, right?
Like this dude Bernard, who seems to be in charge, or at the very least like Santa's secondhand man, he's just like, you're Santa, and then he walks away. And every time Scott asks him a question, he's just like, dude, you're Santa, okay? Bye. Like, at least explain like what the job entails or anything. Like, that's all Scott wants to know. It's just like, what's going on? Why does he keep just walking away? But he does give Charlie a snow globe, which Charlie is very happy about.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Probably too happy, actually.
Thanks a lot. I'm no good cure.
Yeah, dude, it's just a snow globe. You don't have to be so creepy about it. But once Bernard decides to stop acting like an evasive little weasel, he finally tells Scott what's going on. The card that Scott picked up has tiny little fine print on it that's a legal contract that says if you pick up Santa's suit and you put it on, you're Santa now. And it's legally binding, and it's called the Santa Claus. So Bernard explains all this to him, and then he walks away again. There's all these weird parts in this movie. So they take Santa back to his room, where he gets to sleep. It's like the Santa suite or whatever at the North Pole. And this elf Judy brings him some hot cocoa. Now, these elves all look like kids, but I guess they're all like hundreds of years old, but Scott hasn't really learned that yet. I mean, he just sort of got here. So what he says next is kind of creepy.
I brought you some cocoa.
Oh, thanks.
My own recipe. Took me 1,200 years to get it right.
1,200 years.
That's right.
You know, I must say, you look pretty good for your age.
Wow, what a creepy thing to say to someone that you assume is probably a child. She definitely looks like one. Gross, Scott. So Scott falls asleep in the Santa suite with Charlie right by his side. It was a great Christmas, and he wakes up the next morning back at his own house with no recollection of how he got home. And the whole thing that happened to him last night kind of feels like a dream, but spoiler alert, it wasn't. But they don't ever explain how he got back to his house, so that's kind of weird. Did they drug him or what? So Laura comes back over to pick up Charlie, and you better believe she's gonna have some questions about what happened last night, but don't worry, Scott keeps us cool.
Nice PJs, very festive. Where'd you get them?
I don't know.
Nice job, Scott.
Dad and me went with the flying reindeer. It was really neat, Mom. Dad was Santa, and then they showed me the workshop. You know where they make all the toys?
Gee, thanks for keeping his feet on the ground.
So this is the real conflict of the movie now. Charlie starts telling Laura and Neil that Scott is Santa Claus and he took him to the North Pole last night. And they had this whole great time and they met all these elves, and obviously Neil and Laura, because they don't believe in Santa Claus, are like, oh, he's insane. So from here on out, Laura and Neil try to keep Charlie as far away from Scott as they possibly can because, you know, from their perspective, he's insane.
I think Charlie is conflicted at the moment.
Boy, you got more important things to worry about, you know? Like, where are you gonna get more sweaters at the circus pulls out of town?
Haha, fuck Neil. And for some reason, Scott never tries to prove that he's Santa. Like, Santa's a magical being. He's Santa now. He could probably, you know, summon the sleigh or something to show them that he's Santa, but he just doesn't. He's just cool with, like, never seeing his kid and losing his entire family. He just lets them think he's crazy to the point where they take him to court and he loses all custody and visitation rights for Charlie. Yeah, this movie's kind of dark. I just feel like Scott could have at least tried to convince them that he's Santa and tried to convince them he's not crazy. I mean, over the course of a couple weeks, he does like gain a shit ton of weight and all of his hair turns white and he grows a beard. Like, he literally changed more than most people do in like 20 years in a couple weeks. And he didn't try to be like, hey, look, like something weird's going on, obviously. So maybe don't take away my kid. During this part, we also find out a little bit of backstory about Neil and Laura and why they both decided to stop believing in Santa Claus. And we find out that they've got some like serious Santa Claus baggage. Like, they both get really emotional talking about it.
Oh, come on, Laura. Don't you remember when you stopped believing in Santa Claus?
I was Charlie's age. I wrote Santa a letter every week that year. Boy, I really wanted a mystery day came. Christmas morning came and oh, I got dozens of presents. Oh, I got everything. Except mystery date.
I was 3. And it was an Oscar Mayer weenie whistle.
What adult grows up with that much emotional baggage about one Christmas gift or about Santa? That's so weird. But this all brings up a very good point. Why don't they believe in Santa? I mean, it made sense before because we didn't know that Santa was real yet, but now, halfway into the movie, we know that Santa's real. So how could you not believe in him? I mean, they have a kid, they have Charlie. Aren't they freaked out every year when gifts show up that they didn't buy for him? And these questions just aren't answered in this movie. It's just this giant plot hole that they never explain. Well, how do they not believe in Santa? Charlie clearly gets gifts labeled Santa, and neither of them bought them. But they're just like, well, I don't know. We must all just have amnesia. I guess I did buy that present, and I just labeled it Santa. This whole part of the movie all occurs over the course of a year, so by the time it's the end of the movie, it's Christmas time again. Scott's getting all sad and shit, so he goes over to visit Charlie, which he's not supposed to do. And then he has to be alone with Charlie, which he's not supposed to do. And then he kidnaps Charlie, which he's not supposed to do. So it's Christmas time, Santa gets all suited up, he's ready for action. There's this weird little dancing cutscene that they don't acknowledge and doesn't really make sense in the context of this movie, but then he hops in a sleigh and he's off to deliver presents. And then Santa gets arrested for, you know, kidnapping someone.
So let's make this simple. I say name, you say Scott Calvin. Name?
Chris Green.
Name?
Santa Claus.
So they put Scott in jail. He's totally not cooperating. But luckily at the North Pole, they have this like elite secret agent elf squad that is trained to come and save Santa when he gets in situations like being in jail. Why do they need this? This is something that shouldn't happen often. It seems weird that they would even be prepared for this, unless I was right about the old Santa being a fucking weirdo. So the elf squad shows up, they pick up Charlie. The elf squad is led by this kid who...
Don't worry, we're the good guys.
really rubs me the wrong way for some reason.
We're the good guys.
Why does he talk like that? Ew, I swear this kid talks like he's like a TikTok star or something. He's like trying to be cute for his 12-year-old fans. Don't worry, we're the good guys. Oh, dude.
The police are watching this place.
Yeah, they probably are. But you see, we weren't figuring on walking out the front door. We find that we can get around a lot faster if we fly.
I don't like this kid at all, not one bit. This kid makes my stomach churn. Why did he even say it like that? Why didn't he just say, we're not gonna walk, we're gonna fly? He had to be all extra about it. We find that we get around a lot faster by flying. So anyway, they break Santa out of jail. And now Santa has been broken out of prison. He did kidnap Charlie. I mean, the movie totally glosses over that. Like, he legally kidnapped someone. He didn't have a right to take Charlie. He could have gone and delivered presents without Charlie. And he did kidnap him. So, is the movie just gonna pretend like that's cool?
Mom! Here! I'm home!
Charlie. Oh my God, Charlie. Sweetheart.
I think it's a much better idea that you stay here with your mom and Neil.
Laura, what do you think? Christmas Eve, you guys spend with Charlie?
Good. It's you. It really is you. You really are Santa Claus.
So, this is sort of the resolution of the movie. Scott returns Charlie home. Laura comes in, and just like by seeing Scott, she realizes that he's Santa. That's what does it. Just her seeing him. This dude, Scott, never has to even try to convince her. He just shows up in a costume, and she's like, oh, holy shit. You are Santa. You are the legendary magical being Santa Claus. I'm convinced of it now, seeing you in this costume. So that's kind of the end of the movie. Scott escapes the police. He's free to go deliver the rest of the presents. He is just Santa forever until, I guess, someone else kills him, and then he disappears and someone else becomes Santa. Say what you want, but The Santa Claus is a Christmas classic. People love this movie. It's been around for over 20 years now, and it's still going strong. I mean, I found this DVD at Target for $10. So, If that doesn't say classic, then what does? And you know what I think is a little bit fucked up is that this movie doesn't have a song, because The Grinch has a song and that's a classic Christmas movie. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer has a Christmas song and that's a classic Christmas movie. But the Santa Claus gets no love. Why does the Santa Claus get no love? Nobody sings about this movie. I think that if we're gonna make the Santa Claus a bigger part of this holiday season and we're gonna keep it around as a Christmas classic, then there needs to be a Santa Claus song. So I made one. I'm a very good boy. I put out milk and cookies for this guy to enjoy, but Santa never brings the right toy. I felt like giving up on all this holiday joy. But if you've seen the Santa Claus, you know you become Santa if you put on Santa's coat. You can kill him, leave him dead up in the snow. The elves don't even care about you murdering their bro. And so this Christmas gonna be special to me. I ain't gonna ask for a car with a key. I ain't gonna write to Santa asking him please, cause what I want for Christmas can't fit under the tree. I wanna be Santa Claus, so I'm gonna kill Santa Claus. When I hear those reindeer paws, I'm gonna break the law. This Christmas don't got a wish list, I got a hit list, and at the top of it is Old Saint Nicholas. Nothing against him, it's just business. I ain't the Grinch, but I'm gonna steal Christmas. I made a list and checked it twice for all the fucks I give about ending Santa's life, and I found none. I'll travel at the speed of light. If I'm Santa now, does that mean that I sleep with Santa's wife? Cause I'm down, son. Fire in my fireplace. Not talking about his flying ship when I say I'm a sleigh. He gon' die, son. I'ma wake up Christmas Day with all the dopest presents that I forced the elves to make. They're my prisoners. I'll never understand why this is the way that they decide who the next Santa Claus is. How do people not believe that Santa exists? In this world, aren't adults concerned about all these gifts they didn't buy? I wanna be Santa Claus, so I'm gonna kill Santa Claus. When I hear those reindeer paws, I'm gonna break the law. This Christmas don't got a wish list, I got a hit list, and at the top of it is Old Saint Nicholas. Nothing against him, it's just business. I ain't the Grinch, but I'm gonna steal Christmas. Alright guys, well thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. By the way, if you want to get this cool Nutcracker Christmas sweater, go on over to DannyGonzalez.store to
the username like that, just know they're about to say something just straight up retarded. Like, you really can't expect anything less than that. So I've had TikTok deleted on my phone for around a month now, and every now and then my friends will send me a TikTok that I think is funny, and it'll kind of make me think, you know, should I reinstall the app? But then I'll see a post like this and I'll be like, nah, I'm not bringing that piece of garbage back on my phone. Next up is a Instagram story from Tana Mojo that says, my hat fully has Xanax on it, not promoting drugs, just cool. Dude, Tana Mojo is so special, and I mean that in the most derogatory way it can be said. She is just a complete idiot. Like, how do you actually say something like that and not see the hypocrisy as you're typing it? Hey guys, I'm not promoting drugs, but you know, this hat that I'm wearing that showcases 6 bars of alprazolam, it's really cool, really drippy, guys, but you know, I'm not promoting drugs or anything. Guys, don't actually do drugs, just buy clothing that has drugs on them, so that the people who actually do drugs have an actual issue that they're struggling with plastered on a t-shirt for sober people to wear as an aesthetic. That's a very Gen Z thing right there. The glorification of drugs, it's quite sad. I swear to God, I'm bisexual, bro. One second I'm mad, and then the next I'm happy ASF. Well, a little bit confused, but you got the spirit. I believe the terminology you're looking for is bipolar. I don't know why you thought bisexual was the thing to diagnose yourself with. I really hope this guy's friends came to his rescue and said, yo, no, dog, delete that. That's not what you're trying to say. You're supposed to say bipolar, not bisexual. Dog, you look sus. You look so sus right now, dog. Delete that. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they thought that it was so goofy that they wanted to keep it up for their own enjoyment / laughter / pleasure. I don't know, man. I mean, sheesh. If you have have donated to LGBTQ charities, you're transphobic and racist, lol. I'm fairly confident that this post is bait, aka something that somebody said that is obviously untruthful, that they don't believe, but is just said to outrage people like me and frankly any normal person. I mean, I truly do hope that's bait. If anyone would say that with sincerity, they're without a doubt landing Lonely Lodge. Dude, first online class and one of them has a VTuber model. What is happening? Okay, that is kind of funny. I mean, shit, that's kind of embarrassing, though, at the same time. It's like, how do you explain to your peers that you're using an animated, I guess, 3D simulated anime girl to represent yourself instead of, like, I don't know, a camera? Like, it's not that hard, bro. I really hope the person using this VTuber was a chick, because if this was a dude, bro, you're clipped. Like, it's raps. If you're a man doing that, you're done. Like, you actually need to be sent to the ranch. Like, how do you even defend that behavior? So here's a list of the 2019 highest paid female musicians. It says Taylor Swift number 1, Beyonce number 2, Rihanna number 3, Katy Perry number 4, Pink number 5, Ariana Grande number 6, Jennifer Lopez number 7, and Lady Gaga number 8. And this person says, I don't see a single man on this list. Women really won. Well, maybe because it's the 2019 highest paid female musicians. If it was the highest paid musicians, yeah, you'd be clipped. Post Malone would smoke your top 5, Juice WRLD would smoke your top 5, Drake would smoke your top 5. Like, literally almost every single artist that pops into my head would smoke your top 5, so yeah, I mean, you know, good job using half your brain, if even that much, but it's rough, you know, you're having a bit of a rough time. Gen Z grew up with Omegle, ADHD, depression, eating detergent, and a year where literal clowns chased people with knives, just cuz. We have 0% fear factor and no regard for our own safety, and yet we all have social anxiety. We will body slam cops, spam a serial killer's posts with fairy comments, and bully the bunker boy of a president into hiding, but if we ordered pasta at a restaurant and the waiter brought us a literal bowl of rocks, we wouldn't say a word, and they'd still get a good tip. Okay, that's kinda accurate, though. Also, I think it's really funny the way this person prefaces, like, you know, they're gonna try to hype up Gen Z by saying, oh yeah, you know, literal cops chased us with knives just cuz we have 0% fear factor, you know, really hyping up Gen Z, but then they decide to throw in, oh yeah, Gen Z's the really, you know, the toughest generation. We grew up eating detergent. Like, that doesn't show how tough we are, that just kind of shows how mentally just deficient we are. VS/AE, Lamau, those aren't pronouns. I'm not calling you that. This person responds with, those aren't my pronouns, that's what I use to edit. Okay, that's pretty funny though. I assume that's like Vegas and After Effects. Like, that's pretty funny though. You could honestly just take any, you know, piece of software and abbreviate it to 2 letters and post about it, and people will think you're talking about pronouns. I could be talking about my 2 favorite games, Minecraft and Overwatch, talking about MCOW, and people will think that I'm actually coming up with some sort of like Neo-Neanderthal pronouns or some shit, and some people would even respect them, which is kind of sad. Bro, it's just the gazebo effect. It doesn't actually work. That's a bummer that it didn't work for you. I believe the term you're looking for is placebo. Okay. Dude, I just played that audio back. Why the shit do I laugh like that? Like, dude, my laugh is so special sometimes. Anyways, but no, what the hell? The gazebo effect? That is pretty funny though. It's the placebo effect. It's where, you know, when you think something is happening to you, you can convince yourself that you feel a certain way or something like that. Like if you're told that you're gonna be allergic to this food, even though you're not gonna be allergic to this food, that you might, you know, pretend to think that you're actually allergic to it. It's something like that. You gonna get salmon vanilla eating that raw chicken. Salmon vanilla. Lamau, I'm dead. I mean, I respect this dude for being concerned for the person in the TikTok who's eating raw chicken, but I'm more concerned for this dude and his interpretation of salmonella being salmon vanilla. Honestly, I like these Gen Z moments so far. Most of them are like harmless. You mean, you look a little bit goofy, but you're not saying something brain dead, right? Like that one is just like, you know, let's be honest, like I could have made that mistake. If I had heard somebody say salmonella and I didn't know how it was spelled, I could have probably said salmon vanilla, you know? Like, let's just be honest. Alright, last one here says, getting braces as a kid is basically normalized cosmetic surgery. No, it's not. Dude, that's like saying getting a tumor removed because you perceive it as ugly as cosmetic surgery. Like, no, dude, the tumor is literally killing you. Get that shit removed. I don't care if you think it's ugly. That's the least of its problems. Bro, if your teeth are not properly aligned, I'm pretty sure that can, like, screw up your gums or something like that. And honestly, it's probably not the healthiest. It's like acne. Like, acne isn't healthy and it's not good for you. Like, sure, it's ugly, but you're not getting, you know, you're not treating acne just because it's ugly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe some people do, but I feel like if you're just treating it because it's ugly, you have, you know, self-esteem issues that are more important to deal with. Joe Biden sign. I love how the goal for that petition is 50,000 signatures. Like, anything is gonna happen at 50,000 signatures, dude. Dude, nothing is gonna happen when you get 50,000 signatures, okay? Joe Biden is not gonna help you, okay? I don't even know what NBA YoungBoy got sent to jail for, but I know that since nap time allocates for 90% of Joe Biden's day, I don't know if the other 10% of his time when he's actually conscious can be used toward freeing NBA YoungBoy. I'm actually curious, what did YoungBoy even do to get in jail? It says on Google that he like ran from the police or like drove off from the police at a traffic stop. I don't know if that's true or not. Someone tell me in the comments if that's true. Want to go to Starbucks and study soon? Screenshot of the dude who said, want to go to Starbucks and study soon? Help me reject this boy. Oh my god, it's alright. Nah, it's not alright, bro. We can tell you're not alright. Imagine asking a girl to go get Starbucks coffee, and then she screenshots your text and thinks that she's sending it to one of her friends, asking how to reject the dude who asked for coffee, but instead of sending the screenshot to your friend, you send it to the dude who asked to get coffee. That is insane. Also, we all know when the guy responded by saying, it's alright. Oh no, he was not alright. I'm willing to bet that after he typed and sent, it's alright, a teardrop rolled off his cheek and fell on his iPhone. Hey, listen, just stay strong, brother. It's gonna be okay. Like, I can already tell that you're definitely gonna be fighting some demons tonight, maybe looking at some sad Juice WRLD Bart Simpson edits to cope with your pain, but I promise it gets better. Dude definitely typed, it's alright, and then set this to his Instagram profile picture. Also, can we talk for a second about how this person needed to ask her friend on how to reject a guy? Like, literally just say, no thank you? Are we serious right now? Do you need a goddamn step-by-step on how to type no thank you on your iPhone keyboard? It's really not that hard. Do you think your friend is gonna enlighten you with some god-tier way of telling a man no thank you? Like, that's just not gonna happen. She's gonna say, oh yeah, just tell him that you're not interested. And you're gonna act like that was some sort of like a godsend idea that you couldn't have thought of. Will my dad survive heart surgery? No. You were right. Sad face emoji. Fidget spinner never lies, heart emoji. What? Excuse me? Let me get this straight. This person runs a TikTok page where they respond to questions by spinning a fidget spinner on a board that has yes or no. And this person commented, will my dad survive heart surgery? And the fidget spinner landed on no. And the person's dad actually died from heart surgery, and this person says, fidget spinner never lies. And then just decides to drop the heart emoji as if that's some sort of like loving gesture to suggest the fidget spinner killed this person's father. Also, the way that this person says it, like fidget spinner never lies, as if that was like some sort of no-brainer, like the moment the fidget spinner picks your faith, that's it, it's set in stone. That's morbid, dude. Jesus Christ. Can we put emojis in our legal names? First of all, why would you want to do that? Like, seriously. Like, if your name is Chris, do you seriously have the desire to make your name Chris 100 underlined emoji? Or if your name is like Spencer, okay, can't your name just be Spencer? Does it really have to be Spencer smiling devil emoji? These all sound like Snapchat or Instagram names.